Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing okay. Hi Minsk. And LJP as well. Also thanks Kilniath for the tier 1 sub for 5 months. This won't disappear till I click it, so I clicked it. Thank you for clicking it. So yeah, so today we are doing Phantasy Star Zero. We haven't done it for a little while. We did a poll on Discord and people seemed quite keen on playing Zero again, so here we are. I think Wednesday's stream will be more Phantasy Star 2. Me getting lost in dungeons more. Oh, thanks for the sub miss as well. Tier 1 for 5 months. Thanks very much for that. Swanky jacket. So yeah, we'll do Phantasy Star 2 on Wednesday. Same reason as Kilniath. Yeah, I understand it. You did say Superman 64, yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't an option on the poll. I think next weekend stream is probably going to be PSO, just because it's been a couple of weeks since we've done PSO. And I know, for example, Minsk needs to hit 200 as well, so maybe we'll do PSO next weekend. Bubsy 3D went. So as usual, if you do want to join for any of the Zero games, you will need my friend code, which is just on screen. So does anyone have a party set up already, or do you want me to make one? Yeah, we need to get you at 200, Minsk. You've been 199 for a while, so it's about time we did that. But yeah, thanks a lot for those subs. Really appreciate it. It feels like ages since I played this game. It's not really that long. I think no one said anything, so I will try and set a party up. It has been a few weeks, yeah. So the party is now up. Yeah, we are getting a little bit closer to 2,000 subs on YouTube. It has been helped quite a lot by the last couple of videos, particularly the PSO2 videos did really, really well. So that has helped quite a bit. Unfortunately, I may not be on long, but I'll do my best. No worries, dude. Oh, Zale's in. Oh, exactly the same level, actually. Also, a reminder that both parties need one another's friend codes to play. Yeah, we do have on the Discord, there in the Phantasy Star Zero section, there is a part on there where you can put friend codes. If anyone has posted there and can't join for any reason, just let me know in chat and I will add the friend code. Oh, we got Stanley back. Also, yeah, why are we not doing... We need to do these. Can I actually do my history ones for me? I don't know if I can. I've got Vector in as well. Stan the man is back. He is back. Hey, Pika. I think we're all at around the same level, actually, so that works out quite well. He did make it. Stan has made it. There we go. Much better. So now to try and remember how to play this game. I'm sure it'll be fine. I need more chats. That's very nice handwriting, by the way. Yeah, what we'll do is, if we've got more people that want to play as well, we'll rotate every so often. Star BGM lives in your head rent-free. For me, I think the song that lives in my head rent-free, apart from Trick Track, obviously, is probably the shop music from PSO, Chaotic Bar. I just hear that constantly. Yeah, I need to check out that special version of the soundtrack. Did you say, was it the arranged version or something? Carnival or Burning Rangers? I mean, they do stick in your head as well, but for probably different reasons. So I am basically fine running anything. I know there isn't that many quests in this game, but I will do that penultimate story quest at some point as well. The side story one that you mentioned before, Jack. Was that I couldn't even tell what that said. Let's have a look. What did that say? Something to fill the space. Is it rotate to fill the space or something? Raymar, thank you for that. Raymar to fill the space, okay. Well, yeah, since it's Phantasy Star Zero, do you want to start with Squidward? Good to see that Squidward is still in use. It's in use every time we play Zero, honestly. Okay, Squidward quest is up. There he is in all his glory. It's a legal obligation to start with Squidward. It kind of is with Zero, isn't it? Yeah, we don't really have a choice. Sky about to overrun Dark Falls. I'll try and overrun anything. This sword is, when I remember the name, Milia Sword. I did not find it. Draken gave me it. He's still hunting for the 7-star version. Drak did give us all the things. I mean, that's normally the case, isn't it? Yeah, nice to come back to Zero. I know it hasn't been that long overall since we played it, but it's nice to just like switch around the games that we play a bit. You'll pay good money for a patch that adds quests in multiplayer for this game and some tower drops in multiplayer too. Yeah, because there is some stuff that's tower exclusive, isn't there? I think, was it Psycho 1 that's tower exclusive? There you go, I did an overrun. Hello, excuse my blondness, but how are you doing this on multiplayer? If you play it through, well, through emulation, yeah, I think you can do it through DS as well, but there's like security issues with doing that. So I'd advise probably just use emulation. There is a guide on my Discord how to do it. I think was it a pinned topic we put on the Discord? How to connect to it? It's a while ago since we set it up now. The NPC weapons like Rev's Gunblade, Rev's Double Saber and Kai's Gunblade as well. Okay. Yeah, I thought we'd pinned it. It's one of the first questions that you always get asked every time someone watches Zero. It's like, how are you still playing this multiplayer? The only slight annoyance is like the first time you play, you have to exchange friend codes and stuff, which is a little bit annoying. But that's Nintendo. Yeah, that's the issue. We're doing it on the DS. You basically have to change your Wi-Fi to WEP, which is not a good idea, really. Yeah, phone hotspots might work as well. Yeah, it was really, really easy to set up on there. I mean, I'm using Melon DS. Mini so I can make it look better. Thank you for the rare drop. Yeah, the art style's really cool. I do really, really like how Zero looks. Yeah, the PogChamp rare is still there as well. This is the whole reason you have a DS. I mean, honestly, that was kind of the whole reason I had a GameCube for PSO. I did get some other games as well. Oh, we got a level. Cool. Take that. But yeah, I only really played this very recently. I have a video on my channel actually, which was my first time playing it. Mainly because back when it released, I didn't have a DS, I had a PSP instead. So I played like Phantasy Star Portable, Portable 2. GameCube was PSO and the Resi games for you. Tend to follow around franchises like a sad pup. It's a case of having to with Phantasy Star. GameCube still has one of the best console libraries. I love the GameCube. I know it didn't sell very well, but I honestly think that the only reason the GameCube was seen as a failure was because of the PS2 was out at the same time, and the PS2 was just so successful that it just outsold the GameCube by several, factors. I don't think the GameCube itself was necessarily a failure. I think at any other generation it probably would have done well. It's just that because the PS2 was around, and the PS2 was an absolute behemoth of a console. Kind of feel the same with the Dreamcast. Yeah, to an extent. I mean, so Dreamcast was like, it was like on the crossover really, wasn't it, between PS1 and PS2, if I remember correctly. I think it released sort of towards the end of the PS1 lifespan and the beginning of the PS2. Because I think PS2 was, I think that was, I can't remember if it was 2000 or 2001, it was somewhere around there. So although the Dreamcast might have stacked up well compared to the PlayStation, next to the PS2, it was always going to be a hard sell, really. Yeah, it's a shame because the Dreamcast does have some really good games. It's kind of ironic now that the Switch outsells the PS5. It doesn't surprise me, honestly. I mean, yeah, the Switch isn't exactly a powerhouse or anything, but it's got a massive game library. PS5, I mean, when the PS5 released, I was originally going to get one, and then I kind of realised, hang on a minute, there's no games I want for this. Yeah, the hardware side of the Dreamcast I'm not as big a fan of. I've said this before, but I really do not like Dreamcast controllers. I love the fact that you can put the the virtual memory units in them. That's kind of cool. But the actual controllers, I just don't like how they feel. You watched some Space Channel 5 a while ago, and you did not know the soundtrack was like that. I need to play Space Channel 5 at some point. I've got part 2 because it was in the Dreamcast bundle on Steam. But yeah. I didn't have a Dreamcast back when it released, so I missed out on a lot of the Sega games. I, like a lot of other people, was on the Sony side. It's so disappointed with PS5 and so many games still on PS4. Yeah, it's kind of like with the PS5. It's a question of like how long do we have to wait before before more games come out for it. I know there is some good ones obviously, but I'd hope the Xbox would be a safe haven for Sega games after they pulled out the hardware business. Yeah, kind of since then really they've kind of just hopped backwards and forwards between different consoles really. You feel like you wasted your money. It's hard to tell though at the time. I mean, sometimes consoles do have a really, really slow release with not much games for them, and then we'll get tons of games a bit later. It's really hard to tell. Particularly with the PS5 as well, obviously when that released, it was almost impossible to get hold of as well. So a lot of people just bought one so they could get one. But yeah, it's one console generation I just haven't been that impressed with. I've got a Switch, but I mean, not like the Switch is technically current generation now. Jet Set Radio Future and many other sequels on Xbox made you delusional. You love the Xbox Series X, but with a game PC, it feels kind of pointless. I honestly feel at the minute like one of the best players is to have a Switch. That is not the correct way. That is back to the there. I kind of feel that one of the best things you can do at the moment is to have a gaming PC and a Switch, and that covers 99% of games. There's always going to be the odd exclusive here and there, looking at your Gran Turismo, but it's just generally not worth it, I don't think, now. Yes, it's good to see that Switch 2 is backwards compatible. The only thing is, I mean, obviously we know very, very little about the Switch 2 so far, but they said that most games were backwards compatible. Now, I'm going to assume that they probably mean most Switch games backwards compatible, but maybe ones that have like weird peripherals or weird niche uses might not be. So, for example, I know there's games like, I think Ring Fit Adventure and I think maybe 1-2 Switch. I think they use it's like an IR sensor in the Joy-Cons. So it may be that if the Switch 2 doesn't have an IR sensor, then those games wouldn't work, but I think it's going to be very niche stuff like that maybe doesn't carry over. Yeah, exactly, Killing the Earth. Yeah, it could be that they're just playing it safe. You love Ring Fit. I got it, I think it was during the pandemic, I think. It is really fun, but it did really expose how unfit I was. We are really struggling to find the right way here, aren't we? That's probably because I'm not paying any attention to where I'm going. Maybe if we look at the map, that might help. Oh, I've got some more enemies. Yeah, I don't know if it was like a delay on the enemy spawning there. Or maybe we hadn't gone far enough into this room to trigger them or something. Just let the beta testers buy games at launch for 100, then wait a year for them to be patched and be 30 instead. Yeah, I mean, generally I don't bother with early access for the most part. I will say though, if anyone's into racing games, I mentioned this on the Discord call yesterday, but if anyone's into racing games, the new Tokyo Extreme Racer, that's just gone into early access, and that is actually really, really good for an early access game. So I would recommend picking that up if you are into racing games. It is really, really good. You think GTA 6 will cost like 60 to 70% of minimum wage around here? Well, time to get destroyed by Squidward. I like how everyone has a photon blast apart from me. Imagine AAA games like Concord and Star Wars going for 100. I mean, you say quad A games when LJP. We've actually had one, apparently. There was a Ubisoft game, I think. Was it Skull and Bones? I think it was called or something. Something like that. It was like a pirate game, and they actually mark it as a quadruple A game. It failed horribly. Gotta admit, I have no idea how they thought Concord was gonna make money. I think they just thought if we make a team shooter, it'll sell. People eat up team shooters, and they just massively overestimated the demand for it. Hey, stay there, Squidward. I clipped him once, that'll do. All the big numbers here. He just does not care in the slightest. Yeah, that's probably not a good thing. Stand directly in front of him while he just eats you. I like how he died when he spat me out. It's almost like he did not appreciate the taste. Yeah, do not chew the Huni exactly. We got a stun resist level 4 and a squirmy tentacle. The less said about that, the better. Can't even comprehend how out of touch you have to be for that. Where did the execs live a deserted island? Yeah, I genuinely don't know what they thought with games like Concord. Probably try to take advantage of the Overwatch fallout and just failed miserably. So remember to cash in your quest. Yeah, Marvel Rivals is doing really well. Now, I don't know if that's because obviously it's got the prominence of Marvel behind it. Or whether people are just taken to the game more. I think devs are learning we just want decent games. That's the thing, people just want games that are fun, not stuff with microtransactions, and not consistently online. It's really not that much to ask, but... It really throws me off that stun resist is not something that resists a status. It just gives you thunder resistance. PTSD overstock my bank every time because both banks are full. I'm not quite there yet. Can you add slots to armor? I want to say no in Phantasy Star Zero. I could be wrong. I have a feeling that you can't add slots. Which is dumb. Yeah, accept the quest reward. There are no ad slots. Oof. I will say I am really surprised that Nintendo allowed the shortcut chat in this. That yeah, we're going to give the players the freedom to draw anything they want. Like, nothing can go wrong with that, surely. You've got some more you need to port. Sounds good. Yeah, they did allow it on PSO2, and to be fair, PSO2 is way worse for it. Particularly when I played on the Japanese servers, yeah. It was actually kind of difficult to stream PSO2 because there was always the risk that someone would do a symbol art. I think you can turn them off, but yeah. Kids game, by the way, exactly. Isn't there one specific ship in PSO2 that may have been a little too wild for their own good? It would not surprise me. Same with a lot of games, though. If you get an online game, there's always going to be that demographic somewhere. There was either a specific ship or blocking the lobby that had nothing but those people. Yeah, I can imagine Draffia, yeah. I'm just going to pick like a random quest, so I'll do that one. So we'll do a few quests and then we'll see if anyone else wants to join in. All the pantsuit chat. I don't have a response to that. Apart from Squidward. You'll see our next game so Drac can fight Humilias. I'm sure he'll love that. Everyone loves fighting Humilias, don't they? I might switch your weapon for this one. Well, he says that, but he's put all his good stuff in the bank, so I guess not. I could use the daggers. Yeah, they have reverse kill actually, so I'll use those. No response is a good response, or my imaginings of symbol chat is very tame. It wasn't too bad in PSO 1, probably because it was so, you know, it was so sort of primitive in PSO 1 that it was kind of hard to do anything like that. I mean, people probably did it anyway, but. But yeah, PSO2 symbol arts are wild. I kind of feel like the stamp system they're using in NGS is kind of trying to move away from that. But you still have the symbol arts in the game as well. Yeah, I'm not surprised people did do it in PSO 1, but it was a lot more like very, very primitive symbol art in PSO 1, so. You can't stop the degeneracy and meme art. Hitball's stamp spam made you mute all stamps. Yeah, the stamps in NGS, I like the ones that have the voices on them. Some of them are really funny, like the free run ones I really like. But I do feel like there needs to be a bit of a delay on them before you can hear it again. Because all you hear in the lobbies at the minute is free run stamps. Yeah, I generally do like the stamp system in NGS. I think it's a nice sort of alternative to symbol art. It's particularly good as well for people, you know, if you're not really talented enough to make something that looks really good in symbol art, you can just use stamps instead. Yeah, Monster Hunter has a similar system as well, yeah. I don't know when they introduced it. It was definitely in World. And it's obviously in Rise as well, I think. PSO inspired Monster Hunter stamps inspired NGS stamps. Apparently, yeah. Also, for anyone watching, a new video went live earlier today, another PSO side story video. There will be a members video going live on Tuesday. Might be a little bit later on Tuesday night that it goes live this week, just because I'm quite busy, but it should go live on Tuesday, and that'll go live to everyone else next week. But people who are not members will get another video on Tuesday as well, which will be last week's member video, which is I think it was a PSO2 video. Really need to play NGS, just irritated me that it's basically a whole new game that overtook PSO2 proper. I mean, there are still people playing PSO2 Classic. It's definitely, I would say definitely less than NGS, but PSO2 Classic's still there if you still want to play it. Yeah, for the stamps on Monster Hunter, you can basically write your own comment on them, can't you? I think that's one of the only criticisms I've got of the NGS stamps is that they've already got like predetermined phrases on them, so some of them you're never really going to use much. It's like the New Year stamps, for example. You're only really going to use them at New Year. Did you see the limited run PSO collection was very disappointing between the section ID pins, besides the section ID pins in the rare box? Yeah, so I bought a couple of things from it. I bought the section ID pins mainly for the box. I bought the poster, and I bought a couple of the acrylic stands. Main reason I bought the stands is because I thought I could put them in the background on that cabinet over there. Are you placing a mini SGS in the box? If I had a mini SGS, maybe. It is a very, very overpriced box, yes. I won't lie, it did cost me far too much money. I basically bought some stuff from it because it's very, very rare we get any PSO merch at all. Some things like the pin badges aren't too bad. I think they are definitely overpriced for sure. Imagine if the box is cardboard. I think it is. But it looks like a PSO rare drop. Keep seeing the Raymal figurines relatively cheap. Might pick that up sometime. Is there a Raymal one? I don't know if I've seen a Raymal figure. You want the hoodie and the Y2K shirt. The Y2K shirt is very, very, well, yeah, Y2K. You're upset by the cards, thought it would be like episode 3 cards, not just the cover of Dreamcast games. Yeah, I think Limited Run have done it for a little while, where they've done like a Dreamcast card selection of like different Dreamcast games. And the PSO stuff is just, I think it's like card sleeves and like a folder for those cards. I think there are some PSO cards in the set, which is Dreamcast games in general. All about episode 3 cards, we need them. Yeah, I mean, obviously they did some with the soundtrack. There was a very, very small print run of them. I think it's about maybe 15 or so different cards you can get. And there is also a PSO2 card game as well, which does have some PSO cards. Am I wearing the Skylight pin to work? Probably not, because no one would have any idea what it is. The yellow Rick Seal's tempted you for years. Oh, is that the model kit one? The one by Kotobukiya? I do have one of the Kotobukiya Rick Seal kits. It's unfortunately not in a very good way though. The only thing I'd say about those kits is they are super fragile. I've had to repair mine a few times. The plastic on mine in particular was really, really flimsy. Skylar finds the closet PSO fan at work. Yeah, Line Strike's pretty good. I don't mind it. I've played it a little bit in NGS, but I don't tend to play it a huge amount. But it's a fun enough game. It's a perfect reason to wear it to work. You can make up whatever meaning you want. You just say, it's the flag of my country. I hear rappies. I hear rappy music. I don't see rappies unless someone beat them. I didn't see them. It's an Usagi Den, okay. Not particularly exciting. The only person who can call you out is a fellow PSO enjoyer. It's like the acid test when you get asked what it is. If they don't say it's a PSO section ID, then just walk away. Oh, it's one of the Gashapon figures. Okay. Yeah, I have seen those. Yeah, I don't own any of the Gashapon figures. I should probably get the Huniwell ones at some point just to rep my favourite class, but... Same 8-bit as well, yeah. I know there is a lot of stuff about limited run games that is not particularly good. I do kind of wish they'd use someone else. You want a 3D printed Psycho wand? Still thinking about this one PSO shirt that had a limited sale and you had no idea about it. A very cool shirt. The only like PSO 1 shirt I've got is one I got from, I think it was from Etsy, which is just the Dreamcast cover basically. What means we might get a remake. From what someone was saying on Twitter or X, whatever. I think they said that a few of the games that Limited Run had done merch lines for then did get remasters or remakes, so maybe. It is very odd timing that they're doing it now. Bear in mind it's the 25th anniversary at the end of the year, so I think there's a chance. You have all of the Phantasy Star Zero Gashapon figures. I didn't even know there was a Gashapon for Zero. A friend ordered the TMNT game from them and didn't get it for months after it came out. He refuses to order anything from Limited Run. That's the main thing I've heard about them, is that the wait times are really, really long. But it seems to be mainly for when they've actually done a game. Whereas this for PSO, they're not doing any physical version of the game or anything, it's just merch. You ordered the Radiant Silver Gun Collector's Edition from Limited Run, it took 3 years. Well, hopefully by PSO's 30th anniversary we might have the merch. I mean, I'm in no rush for it. Like, it'll arrive when it arrives. I guess you should back up your Affinia data. Yeah, it's probably worth doing now and again anyway. If anyone who doesn't know, you can back up your character data on Affinia, so if you want to use it on your own server, you can. How do we back up data again? On the Affinia website, there's an option on there. It's one of the menus at the top. There's an option to download your character data. Kind of wish for a new game. I'm down for that, yeah. Honestly, I would probably rather see... I've said this before, but I think I would rather see either a remake or Sega Ages version of Phantasy Star 2, 3, or 4, or a new Phantasy Star. Like Vector said, though, the issue is we've got NGS, and they're not going to make another online game that competes with NGS. You have a single Rick Seal Red Rhea version Apsy figure. It looks amazing, but yeah, a bit fragile. The one I've got is the, I think it was the first version Apsy one. It's the one that just looks like Eleanor's colour scheme, but the actual design is a little bit different. I mean, I got it quite a while ago, but I've had to repair some of the pink armour on it, just cracked, so I had to glue it back together. And one of the leg joints completely snapped as well. That's the one you were thinking about, the Yeti Limited shirt. I don't know if I saw that. Could make something like Zero where it's more small scale. Oh, definitely, yeah. I'd be down for that. Phantasy Star 1 remake. If they did like a full remake, potentially. Obviously, you've already got the Sega Ages version that kind of gives you a lot of the quality of life improvements. Oh yeah, McClintry, it probably won't post links on Twitch. It's just like a safety thing with Nightbot, I think. If you want to post a link though, feel free to post it on the Discord. That should be fine. Yeah, that's a good point actually as well. Yeah, there is a Phantasy Star 1 remake on the PS2. I think for the merch, you don't only get the green eel badge. The issue with the Section ID badges is you can't buy them individually. You have to buy the full set. There is, however, if you do want to get a single badge, there is a seller on, I think they're on Etsy, who makes their own custom ones, and they do them as single badges. And from what I can see, they look really good. So if you want a single Section ID badge, I'd maybe go and look at them. It's in PSO chat on Discord article. Do you get a discount for the Oran badge? Yeah, no one's buying the Oran badge, so we'll put the price down. Honestly, the ones from the Etsy seller are probably better quality as well, but... The guy just like phased out of existence there and just did not want to be targeted whatsoever. Put some respect on Oran's name. I have an Oran. I am respecting Oran. But it is funny when you look on the Affinia website and you see what Section IDs people are, and virtually no one is Oran. Sir, can you be targetable, please? Thank you. I think if I buy the entire box, my mum will stamp all the badges in my forehead. I could have a remake like Star Ocean or the Mana Games SE did. Yeah, possibly. I love the massive slowdown whenever these guys spawn. speaking of, is Yellow Bows getting more Mazetta a myth, or is it actually true? I'd always heard it was true. I'm not 100% sure. On Affinia, they've kind of changed how Yellow Bows works as well. Oh, another level. GG. Yeah, I know Yellow Bows definitely gets, well, back on GameCube when I used to play it, it used to get an increased chance of hit percentage in episode 2. Because on GameCube, it used to be like a 5% chance of hitting episode 1 and a 1% chance of hitting episode 2. So with the Yellow Bows on GameCube, they made it so it was 5% hit on episode 2 as well. But on Affinia, they changed it so that instead, I think it gets higher attribute rates in episode 1 on Affinia. It does also get more Mazetta as well, okay. Yeah, they changed it direct to the higher attribute rate, so it did used to be hit percentage in episode 2 on the official servers. Which was really annoying because obviously with a lot of IDs, you'd be hunting things in episode 2 and you had a 1% chance of hit. You were Yellow Bows on GameCube, you were still poor. Being poor is just part of PSO. It's kind of weird with PSO, you're poor for most of the game, and then you get to a point where you just end up getting loads of money and just funnel it into charge Vulcans. It gets to a point where you just don't really use money on anything. But early game in particular, it's quite a struggle, particularly if you're a force. Do other Section IDs affect attributes? I think it's just Yellow Bows. Oh, you just run tower and go broke. Yeah, I mean, that's the other alternative. The only other large figures you own are Nagisa from Infinity and Summer Vacation and Net from PS2 ES. Oh, I've seen those. What's the Nagisa figure like? Because I've seen, I think there was a pre-owned one on sale recently, and I'd considered buying it, but I didn't know what the quality was like on it. I've seen the Summer Net one as well, because I think there's one of Jean as well. I think there's tons of figures of Jean, because apparently Jean is one of the most popular characters in PSO2. Can't think why. Both go for silly money these days. Yeah, I saw one that was pre-owned that wasn't too bad. I don't even know if it's still on sale anywhere, but one guy with a 90 hit drop today in Affinia looked out the 1% chance. What was it that dropped a 90 hit? A demo comet. So someone has a 100 hit demo comet on Affinia. Jesus. I can't even find one with any hit. The Nagisa one is beautiful. It's your favourite. Ian likes Matoi a lot more. Yeah, I've never been a fan of Matoi, honestly. I know there are tons of statues and things of her, but I've never been a big fan of her. Yeah, people seem to go feral for Jane. Fair. Yeah, I think the only PSO2 figure I've got is the PSO2 Huniwell statue, the Volks model kit one. Jean is she's the one, she has blonde hair and twin tails. She's the mascot of PSO2 ES. You'd probably recognise her if you saw her. We need a Chelsea figure. We really do need a Chelsea figure. Chelsea is like one of the best characters in most Phantasy Stars. I love Chelsea. Okay, so Vector's dropped out, so what I can do is I can make another lobby if people want to jump in again. Matoi versus Darkfall's Apprentice, top 10 anime moments. Yeah, Chelsea is great. Can I get a figure of Carolia? Is that the... That's the rear mile from Ep 3, isn't it? Yeah, the Chelsea outfit was on PSO2. I think. Yeah, it was definitely on PS... Well, I know it's on Clementine. I think it was on PSO2 as well. I know there was definitely a Phantasy Star portable scratch on the Japanese side anyway. Matoi slapped Apprentice with so many photons she turned old. That's another level of a beating. Okay, another party is open. But yeah, I'd love to see more Phantasy Star figures. Light has an outfit too. Ah, cool. Yeah, I showed this before, but I know there's a lot of people who've just started watching recently, so they might not have seen it. Yeah, so I know some people have seen this already, but for anyone who has just watched recently, this is the Volks Charagumin version of the PSO2 Uniwell. It's very cool, but you have to build it yourself, and it's a nightmare to build. Just about like 2 minutes in the PSO2 anime. You need a figure of a Hugh Casper the Crazy Tune. I'd love to see that. Yeah, it was kind of crazy how quick they got rid of it, wasn't it? You need to set your DS up for this. Yeah, it's not too bad to get set up, honestly. But yeah, this statue, if you want to get it, you can still buy it. It's not always available, but you can buy it from this site called Volks in Japan, which is VOLKS. And I think it's called Volks Hobby Paradise, I think it's called, the site. They're a Japanese site, but they do sell internationally. But just be aware that if you do buy it, you do need to build it. And it is quite a challenge to build. Also, if you do buy one, it doesn't come with a base either. I don't know if they tell you that when you buy it, but it comes with no base, so you have to make one yourself. Or buy one of their bases. Am I imagining things, or was there an NGS Region Mag model for sale at one point in time? Can't find anything about it online. There is a little Region Mag model. I want to say it's something like a little coin bank. I do remember seeing one though. So we've still got 2 more spaces if anyone wants to join. If no one else joins in a second, then if people want to rejoin back in that were in the last run, that's fine. Yeah, Highs in episode 3 is really cool, isn't he? He's like the musician Hugh cast. Yeah, Ep 3 is really fun. Just a shame we can never do the final boss. Well, I could, but I'd have to mute the game. Right, so one more space. Tips hat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Isla, the peculiar vegetables song that we can't play on stream. Well, on Twitch side, it's probably fine. I've never had any issues with playing it on Twitch. But yeah, YouTube, not so much. I hope by next year you can get, you can persuade with money to get deployable lover to tattoo the silver poster out on your arm. Oh, cool. Hi, Tiger. Yeah, so this is Zero, which is a DS game. We are emulating it at the minute just because it's a lot easier to emulate it multiplayer. There's an issue with emulating it through a DS, which is that you have to like turn off the security on your Wi-Fi, which is not particularly good. But if you do it through emulation, you can work around it. Yeah, we just need the live band, don't we? Yeah, there was a video I posted on the Discord a little while back. It was basically, it was at Games Done Quick, where they were doing a speedrun of Crazy Taxi, and basically they've never really been able to do a Crazy Taxi speedrun for years because there's so much copyrighted music in the game. They basically can't play it on stream because it'll just get, you know, DMCA'd immediately. So the way they got around it is to actually have a live band on the stage that played the soundtrack. It was really funny as well because like if the guy who was playing messed up and he had to restart the stage, the band would just stop immediately wherever they were in the song and then start a new song when he restarted the stage. You got your DS online by using a mobile phone as a hotspot. Yes, that's another way you can do it. Alright, we've got the squad. I love that symbol art, it's so good. Dreamcast and GameCube PSO are what you played religiously back in your 20s. But it's been like 20, 25 years now, it still feels like yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I started with GameCube PSO, Tiger Eye. Still play it now and again. Still play a lot of Blue Burst. How can you download Phantasy Star Zero? So, really, your options are either play it on a DS or find a way to play it through an emulator. There's no like private server or anything for it like that. It's essentially using an emulator for it, and there's a way to connect to online through the emulator. There is, if you want a guide to how to connect online on my Discord, there is a pinned message on there that shows you how to do it. But yeah, Tiger Eye, PSO has always been the main one for me. That's how I got into the franchise myself. So yeah, I'll always have a massive affection for PSO. DC version 1 for me. Remember getting help from a high school buddy to bid for the Dreamcast broadband adapter. Oh, nice one. Heading off now. Massive migraine has come back. Have a great stream, guys. Oh, hope you feel better soon, dude. Yeah, hope you feel better soon. And like I said, there'll be another stream midweek, so hope you feel better by then. Oh, it's from eBay. Okay. Let's do Mech Assault. Because I feel like pain and doing Humilias. Yeah, migraines absolutely suck, so yeah, hope you feel better, dude. Yeah, I do wish I'd been around for Dreamcast version 1. It's just that I didn't have the console at the time. I was always a PlayStation guy, so I totally missed PSO first time round. You're pretty well known back in the day. Doubt people would remember you now. Yeah, there was always like I guess you can kind of call them like sort of minor celebrities in PSO, like people you'd recognise on the message boards and stuff. I was more active personally through like mainly through GameCube and then through Blueburst as well. There's a few streams from Jaxa where he plays the Network Trial Edition on Dreamcast. Yeah, I've seen the Network Trial disc come up a few times on eBay recently. I kind of considered buying it, but I don't even know if there's a way to get that version online. I know you can still technically play the Dreamcast version online. I don't know if that just works through ragdoll.org like the Dreamcast version, but in other words, let's do Humilias because Drac is in the party. I mean, maybe. Tried commenting on the Ultimate Difficulty video regarding the differences between Dreamcast and GameCube, but the post wouldn't save. That's weird. I think there has been a bit of an issue with YouTube comments today, if it was today, because I know I tried replying to someone's comment earlier and it just disappeared. And I think Drac had the same problem a couple of days ago as well, so I don't know if there's something a bit odd with YouTube comments at the minute. I missed out actually worse than Barons. Remember on the Dreamcast version of PSO, there was a bot in ship lobbies that was a little maid cast that if you interacted with would tell you the swatch time. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, they still use the net time in PSO, GameCube, and in Blueburst as well. But I mean, it's more of a novelty, really. I mean, you basically only used it for like certain special attacks, like Divine Punishment. I know that they integrated it to try and facilitate online play around the world a bit easier. So I guess their idea was that you would say, hey, I'm going to be online at like internet time 600. And you're trying to arrange to meet up then, because it would be 600 for everyone. But yeah, it didn't work. Just something odd with YouTube full stop, it's just failing to operate normally. Dreamcast Ultimate had enemies having very high defense, so the reason red handguns were vital at the start was because the attack power jump from V1 to V2 weapons was massive, which actually allowed you to do damage buffs and debuffs were pretty much mandatory. Yeah, I'd heard that the Ultimate on Dreamcast was really rough unless you had very specific gear. Yeah, it was McClintry. Yeah, it was by Swatch, as far as I know. PSO used it because they thought it'd be a big hit. Oh, I forgot about these guys. It definitely makes PSO unique, yeah, for sure. I respect what they were going for. They're obviously trying to make it easier for people around the world to play with each other. But you know, people had used time zones for years and years and years and years. They were never just going to go and switch over to some really obscure thing like internet time. Yeah, I think Dreamcast Humor could use Shifter and D-Band, I think. Internet time works quite well. Even Vector organised games at 500 because it was a good time for both of us. So you tell me that in Space Year 2025 we're actually arranging games via internet time. I am all for it. You have a UK to internet widget on your phone. That's commitment. You own all of the trial versions of each Phantasy Star game. Honestly, don't know if any of them are particularly different or even work anymore. You also have several review and white label versions too. Oh, nice. I've seen one or two of the white label versions on eBay now and again, but not something I've ever gone for. It is cool for like for a collection though. Some of the rebalancing of the classes from Dreamcast to GameCube is strange, others were warranted. Yeah, I mean, obviously removing things like Humars, well, Hunters with Spread Needles was probably a good thing. But I do think that, I've said this before, but Humar did really, really dirty in GameCube. I still maintain that Humar should be able to use level 15 shifter and D-band. I don't know if it was rifles in general. I didn't really play Dreamcast much at all. But I know that Spread Needle was usable by some hunters. You're inclined to agree. I mean, you would as a humor. Qcast could use Spread Needle, it was just broken. I mean, Qcast is still broken in GameCube, Xbox, and Blue Burst, but at least you can't use Spread Needle now. Very specific weapons, typically the really rare ones, broke the normal gear restrictions. Ah, fair enough. Notice the resolution was a lot smoother than mine. Somehow you missed the internal resolution setting in Melon. Yeah, there's an option where you can like upscale the resolution. I think this is running I think it's about ×10 resolution at the minute. My guard is kind of insane on this character now. You got another love rap you missed. I'm not sure if it was only S ranks or not. Like I say, I didn't really play Dreamcast much at all. I only got a Dreamcast much later, so I'm a lot more familiar with the GameCube version, really. Would have had a field day using a Spread Needle as a Hunuel. You could earn one by obtaining Duel rank in challenge mode. Also, it was more of like the S rank needle then. Yeah, I can't imagine having a Hunuel with a Spread Needle. It didn't even have the decency of dropping egg parts. That's actually some going because it's like a 7 out of 8 drop. And I think is it either RDR week or drop anything week this week? So you did well to avoid that egg parts. DC version 1 Humar was actually the best class in the game. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. I love this trick that Drac told me, that if you get confused, you just open the menu and you stop running. There we go. I've got to say, it definitely looks much blockier on your DS. Yeah, I will say running it at native resolution, like DS resolution, doesn't look great on stream. Cass didn't get traps in V1. So were traps like a new thing in V2 then, or? I do have V1, but I've barely ever played it. I basically got it just to try and complete the collection. I played a tiny bit of it. Maybe I should play out on stream at some point, if I can get like a capture thing for my Dreamcast. If my Dreamcast actually wants to work, because it is very, very unreliable. And in V2, Cass only got traps in ultimate difficulty. That's so weird. Right, we have no keys, so we can't go the locked way. Yeah, Zil, yeah, so if you get confused, if you just open your menu, obviously you can't really do anything when your menu's open, but you'll know that if you use, sorry, if you get confused normally, your character kind of runs without any input. So you just open the menu to stop them running. It kind of reminds me of the trick in PSO where you open the menu to avoid like traps in corridors. At least the mate's scaled up in healing. I wonder why they changed that, because the fact that they don't really scale in GameCube and so on is really irritating. I know they do heal a bit more per difficulty, but the fact is, you know, once you get to like really, really high level and you're in ultimate, when you've got Dimates healing you for like 500 or so, it's nothing basically. That sword is novelty size, which is it? This is the Milias sword. So this is the 6-star version, but there is a 7-star version as well. And it's basically the sword of the boss we're about to fight. But yes, it is novelty sized. What a whiff. You can hold up shield with L and open the menu and still block. That's so funny. Am I able to move off this yet? No. Who's using the Akimbo PPSHs? I think that is Minsk. Yeah, speedruns are crazy. I've seen a few PSO speedruns. But yeah, basically in PSO, if you just open the menu while you're running, your character will like maintain running speed unless you stop the input. So it lets you do things like run past traps in corridors. It's also really useful for Volopt if you get targeted by the orb that tries to trap you. If you basically open the menu and then run in circles, you can outrun it. Varelix is the main PSO speedrunner you've watched. Yeah, I've seen a couple. There was someone who did it at Games Done Quick as well, but their speedrun was one that like allowed glitches and things like that as well. So although it was funny to see, I didn't really watch much of it because it basically involved just stacking loads of items with the dupe glitch. PSO was never really a game I've really thought about speedrunning, honestly. I respect people who do it, but it's not really for me. I just realised I actually have shifter and D-band on my back palette. I should probably use that. Challenge mode for me, can't even speedrun. Yeah, I know we say this every time, but yeah, we need to do challenge mode. We need to do more of that. I should just schedule it for a stream at some point, or do like a Discord specific event where we do challenge mode, because we're never going to do it otherwise. Is Zero like PSO and Shifter is melee only? As far as I know, I think it does affect your text in this, because I know that my Rester heals by more if I've got Shifter. Didn't know the DS has an MMO. It's not really an MMO, I mean, it's only up to like 4-player. Yeah, it was quite an ambitious game though for the DS. We should at least complete it before Valentine's Day. We should. I mean, we're up to Seabed, I mean. It's just a question of getting through Seabed. It had to do with stacking equipped weapons to get unrealistic attack power values, allowing you to do hundreds, if not thousands, of damage. Yeah, that's basically what it was. So the first couple of minutes of the speedrun were just stacking weapons, and then he was basically just one-shotting everything. So I just didn't find it that fun to watch, honestly. You know, it's a different way of playing. You know, some people like sort of breaking the game as much as they can to do funny speedruns, which is totally fine. Minsky's not in Seabed. What were you up to in Minsk? Were you up to, was it Central Control, or did you need to do Spaceship? You're on Spaceship as well. Spaceship's not too bad, just Gold Dragon's a little bit difficult. Right, time for this boss again. Using sword, I don't know if that's the play for this. Well, I hit him once. I'm happy with that. How did that miss? Just stay behind his leg, it's easy. Then he goes in this phase where you just can't really do anything to him. Mecha Floor, yeah, I suppose it is probably the most similar thing to Olga Floor. Yeah, spoiler, it's not easy, exactly. It's one thing about Zero. The bosses in it are actually genuinely difficult. Also, I know we were talking earlier about Phantasy Star themes that get stuck in your head. This boss as well. This boss theme, constantly. Have you actually downed him? That doesn't happen very often. Okay, stay still and let me hit you. Thank you. Drek has a cure freeze, especially for this boss. I mean, I don't blame him. I do have a Photon Blast. I can't remember what Photon Blast it is, so I'm just going to use it. Never mind, he's dead. So is that Photon Blast, apparently. I respect the Fowler. Yeah, accept the quest reward, yeah. What classes does this game have? Only familiar with PSO2? So if you've only played PSO2, the class names in this will make zero sense. But the nearest way I can describe it is essentially Hunter Ranger Force, but there are differences based on your gender and race as well. So my character class is what's called a Hunewirl, which is a female Newman Hunter. It basically uses the same class names from the original PSO. Yeah, I think the gender thing is actually more just PSO in general, isn't it? I think Zero, it's more... It's race, isn't it? And like class type. So you've got Hunter Ranger Force, and then whether you're human, human, or caste. Yeah, so it's like Tiger said, it's basically it's a 3-part name convention for PSO and for Zero. So if you look, it might be quite hard to see, but in the top right of the screen where the second screen is, you see Hunewirl. So the HU means hunter, so that tells you it's a melee class. New World basically means Newman, so that's the race I am, so it's like an elf character. And then the Earl bit means female. It's a really weird naming convention, but once you kind of get used to it, you remember it. But yeah, if you're talking PSO2, the nearest way I can describe it is basically imagine Hunter Ranger Force, but if they can use a wider variety of weapons. Where PSO2 tends to have a lot of classes, but restricts the weapon types quite a lot more. This is the only Phantasy Star you can pet the damn cat. Speaking of which, let's go and pet the cat. It is shocking that there are cats in NGS that we can't pet. There is some other ones as well, isn't there? There's a few hidden around. There's another one here. Very cute. I think there's another one hidden somewhere as well. I think. Cat.mp3. Oh, there's one in the sewers as well. Oh yeah, it's next to one of the shops, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel bad for not petting the one in the sewers now, so I guess we'll sort that out while we're here. There it is. There we go. All cats petted. I mean, I suppose in PSO2, I mean, there is the emote, isn't there, where you can play with the cat? Yes, there is a title for petting all the cats, yeah. I think I've already got it. As there should be, you know? I mean, it's technically a Sato here as well. You can try petting that as well. Alright, let's see. Let's do the dragon. He's taking a break. I know he's Minsk. So what we can do is, yeah, we can try doing this, and then maybe after this one we'll open a lobby again. I know it might be the same people joining quite a bit, but that's fine. It's just in case anyone else wants to get in. You joined, but you're pretty low level. Do you know what level you are, Skelenar? Unfortunately, I don't have any other characters. I've only got this one at the minute. I mean, if people need to do quests in normal, I don't mind doing a normal lobby. You're super low as well. You're 18 at present, making decent progress considering you just started yesterday. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just curious, since I discovered you recently, have you done streams on PSO2 where you had 12 people in the same dungeon instance? So there is kind of a way to do it. I don't think we've had one where we've had 12 people, but we've had a few. I think it's when you set up a party, you choose to set it up in the same lobby. There's a couple of options that you can do to basically ensure that other friends can get in as like a separate multi-party. There is a way to do it in NGS as well. It's quite useful in NGS as well because, particularly for the urgent quests, there are some urgent quests where the public games are just horrendous for it, so it's really nice to have like an alliance where you can just set it up to have a couple of alliance parties to do it. Yeah, I think 8's about the most we've had, isn't it? NGS V3 will have 64 player parties. Did you literally just post a comment on YouTube back to just to check what section ID badge you had? Whilst Oran spotted. I actually think about some more of the section ID badges actually. Because I think after Oran, I think there's one or two more. Then I need to add the rest. No, I have tried adding them here, but Twitch are very, very specific with the images that they want. So they have to be a very specific dimension. They won't resize your images for some reason. And it also says that if it's anything that could be copyright, you're not allowed to do it. And I don't know where I stand with that with section ID badges. Although I can't give a fair evaluation for NGS since you only dabbled on it at launch, felt that it didn't have the same feeling of excitement and captivity that base PSO2, PSU and PSO did. Yeah, NGS has gone through a journey for sure. When NGS launched, it was incredibly rough. There were a lot of problems with it. It has improved significantly. There are still problems, but it has improved a lot. I'm actually going to be doing a video on NGS in the next couple of days for members, which will go live to everyone else the following week, just sort of giving an idea of what the game is currently like. I think the best way I can put NGS is, I think a lot of the hate for NGS is overblown. But there are definite issues with the game that I'm not going to cover up. You know, there are problems with it. But there are also some people who just like to hate on the game for no reason. How did only one of those hits hit? Below the foundation of NGS, just need better content plus fix shop search. Yeah, the shop search is incredibly busted. favorite period of the game is when Retem came out and the Just Still Vera Suppression Emergency Quest was out. Yeah, I do really like Retem, honestly. It changed the game up quite a bit. I think ultimately, a lot of people are just getting tired of the same 4 areas now. And everyone wants us to leave the planet and, you know, do new stuff. Whether we actually do that in story, I don't know. Obviously, things like Nameless City could be getting us towards that, potentially. It'd just be nice to have a bit more variety in the areas. And in the enemies as well, honestly. Because I do kind of feel like we've been fighting this more or less the same enemies for a couple of years. Although having said that, I play PSO. Hitfriend just came from the fact that its release IP blocked everyone not from Japan from the Japanese servers where you had years of progress. Me and you both. Yeah, I played on the Japanese servers since the alpha test in 2011. And yeah, like you, lost everything. Well, lost access to it. I guess you can still get on it if you use something like a VPN, but I discussed it with my friends at the time and we just decided that we're going to start over on global. Just see what the global release was like. What I'm learning about this photon art is it is very hard to actually hit things with it. Need to get caught up for the next story update. Yeah, that should be coming relatively soon. I said the last chapter of story was good, like genuinely good. What's the point in going through hoops for a game that explicitly does not want you? I think for me, it was just because I've always been a huge Phantasy Star fan and I wanted to just support the franchise. And as you probably know, before NGS, it was virtually unheard of to get Phantasy Star games in the West. We kind of got forgotten about. So the fact that they released PSO2 in the West and NGS, I basically jumped on it just to try and show some support. That is not breakable, despite looking the same as every other fence. Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, I think, I've said this before, I think the reason that PSO2 launched in the West in the first place was to prep for NGS, so that it was in place for NGS launching. But again, what people fail to realise on the global side is that they got 8 years worth of global content in a very short space of time. So of course NGS was going to have less content. Good sponsorship opportunity for you there, Sky. Start promoting VPNs for Japanese PSO2 access. I mean, NordVPN seems to sponsor everyone, so you never know. I was going to say you are never dead already. No, you are actually dead already. Okay. Man, Drak is like level 88, so that makes sense. Yeah, also Red Shadow Legends, yeah. Next Skylight video sponsored by NordVPN. They haven't reached out yet. We never know. Yeah, the only sponsor opportunities I get is like Raid Shadow Legends and then random like match 3 games for mobile. Yeah, I'm not sure about the Tweaker skill now. I used to use Tweaker as well in the Japanese version, but sometimes it takes a while to go around the blocks that Sega puts on it. Yeah, I mean, it did suck starting over on global, but it has helped. I mean, you know, I mean, it's helped on one side of things because it's helped me do content for NGS in English, which, you know, has helped with like NGS creator and so on. So, did you see some of these sponsor numbers in the Honey Scandal? Linus Tech Tips got like 60k before we dropped them. Yeah, PS2 Tweaker was basically the tool to use if you're playing Japanese PS2. They did a fantastic job with that really, you know, like translating loads of the story and everything as well. It must have been a massive uptaking. So I think what I'll do is I will make another game, so if a fourth wants to get in, they can. Yeah, Tweaker was a godsend, definitely. Particularly trying to get through story. Trying to understand any of story without Tweaker was almost impossible. I do know a bit of Japanese, but I don't know enough kanji to get through the story. Alright, new party's up. Again, Zero Stream is doing really, really well. It seems like every time I stream or do videos on this game, it always does pretty well. Which amazes me for such a niche game. Give me a few. Yeah, no worries, Boink, yeah. I can't remember if I got your friend code or not, Boink. Can't remember now. If I don't, then we may have to remake, possibly. The capture boss, truly a battle of all time. Yeah, setting the account up initially was like the hardest thing ever. See, basically, you had to break the TOS just to even make an account on the Japanese PS2. Because you had to give like a Japanese address and stuff, so everyone just made up addresses. Just started a call, you guys go ahead. Ah, no worries. You do crimes to play PSO2. Because obviously it was Japanese only server, so it was against TOS for anyone outside Japan to play. But then when you set your Sega ID up, you had to give like an address. So people just like Googled a random Japanese address and put that in. I mean, Sega just kind of tolerated it. They were well aware of what people were doing. I got the impression at the time that they just kind of thought, well, people around the world obviously don't have any other way to play PS2. They're obviously very interested in it. If they're not causing problems, we'll let them keep playing. Trying to play Monster Hunter Frontier was simple. I need to try Frontier. I know there's like, there is servers you can like play that on now, so I do need to check that out at some point. Now, Frontier was like the crazy one that was... I'm not going to say it was an MMO because it wasn't. It was... I want to say it was online only. I could be wrong. Monster Hunter Frontier first stream for Monster Hunter March. Maybe. I need to look at the dates for the Wilds beta again. Oh, it is an MMO, okay. Freedom Unite stream. Yeah, I'd like to do some streams for some of the older Monster Hunters at some point. Obviously, once March comes around, there is another Monster Hunter that might take precedence. It was an MMO-like, okay. It's an online party-based game. Ah, fair enough. Ryzen 3070 Ti. You never know, Drac. They might fix the requirements for the release. I guess the good thing is on Steam as well. I suppose you could buy it, you could try it and see if it runs, and if it doesn't run, you can just refund it. Because as long as you haven't played it for like, I think it's over 14 days or over 2 hours straight, you can refund. So that might be the way to do it. What was really bootleg was buying AC through third-party groups to FOMO the occasional scratches. That's real dedication. Yeah, I did that as well. There was a company called WebMoney, I think, and I used to use WebMoney to basically buy Arts Cash because they wouldn't take foreign credit cards or anything. So you had to like use third-party sites to buy WebMoney, to use WebMoney to buy the Arts Cash. And then thankfully they released PSO2 ES, and once ES launched, you could just use ES to buy it, which was so much easier. Oh, we've got Optimum Pride in. You gave away some web money codes on Alliance events. Yeah, PSO2 ES made it a lot easier, because you could just buy the Arts Cash in PSO2 ES. Yeah, we have a cast, finally. So we've got 2 more spaces. We have another cast who looks almost identical. You'll join with best false if no one joins. So we've got Optimus Prime, and Optimum Pride. Your baby level, that is fine. Don't worry about it. We'll do whatever we can. I just want to play multiplayer with people, so I'm totally fine with whatever we do. We've got Zaylen as well. I feel like there's a cast thing going on here, and I must have missed the memo. A casting call, yeah. Yeah, we want someone to play a cast. I apparently forgot the cast part. Yeah, Mecha Superhero Squad, one of them forgot the suit. I'd like to think that if that's the case, I'm the mech pilot and I'm just waiting for my mech. Cast Supremacy on my Newman Supremacy game. Yeah, I mean, this is basically the Newman Supremacy game, isn't it? Yeah. In story as well. As opposed to Phantasy Star 2, where it seems it's more like, Newmans. My mech went rogue and became Humilias. Yeah, I'll go with that. Right, let's see what we can do. You got a good TP from a Merlin. You might want to keep that because even if it's not that useful to use as a unit, I think it's one of the ingredients to trade for TP Resurrection. Or Heavenly TP it might be, actually. Yeah, Heavenly TP. In Claire's deal. Right, let's do that one. I assume there's a limit to the amount of stat materials you can consume. Wanted to use some, but you're afraid to spend them on the wrong stat. I can't remember how many you can use on this, honestly. Is there a way to cap the frames to 30 FPS in Melon? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's TP Revival for TP Resurrection. I think there is a unit called Heavenly TP though. But that might be a drop actually. So in that case then maybe it's not as good as I thought. Yeah, it was TP Resurrection I was thinking of. In the menu it tells you your material usage and limits. Does it? I never noticed that. Oh, it does. I had no idea that existed. Yeah, ignore the fact that I've only used one material. I also did not want to waste any materials. It just shows how much I actually play Zero. One material in HP, I mean, I need HP. HP mats are not separate from others in this game. Oof. Who has the Star Wars gun? I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't be the first time that the Phantasy Stars kind of ripped off Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, the saber designs in PSO are cutting it quite close. I don't really know how Sega got away with that, honestly. Witch broom, sure. I remember planning material uses on GameCube PSO, especially materials to help with Hunuel's horrendous idea. I think hit materials, I think they were only on, well, maybe on Dreamcast potentially. I know there was definitely no hit materials on GameCube because Hunuel just struggled. Alice has found lightsaber. Yeah, I mean, you got a point there, I guess. You've always found it funny how photons are light, so a lightsaber is a photon saber, yeah. Yeah, you had to use arm units, exactly, yeah. Yeah, Hunuel accuracy is miserable until high level. And then it's slightly miserable. Middle dropped a 5-hit Rambling Mate. Oh, nice one. Burger is abandoned. Not gonna lie, I kind of miss the burgers and cola from Phantasy Star 1. Although it was nice to see monomates and diamates coming in Phantasy Star 2. It was also kind of sad because it was kind of funny having cola and burgers as the way to heal. I just love the implication that they were called like calorie mates or whatever in the Japanese version of Phantasy Star 1. And then they just changed it to burgers and cola for the West because they just thought, well, these fat Westerners won't know what a calorie mate is, so we'll give them something they're more familiar with, so we'll give them burgers. It's like, wow, Sega, alright. I always heard you and Parkman's talk about Hunuel's lack of ATA now that I made one. Yeah. It's rough. It does get better at high level with them. The ATA growth is really slow though, so at low level it's really rough. You will miss all the time. Sega promoting Dirty Vulcan. Of course it died just before I hit it. You always stuck to light to heavy combos with sabers because the third attack animation for left you wide open. Yeah, the female saber animation is really bad. The third hit is way too slow, so quite often you will just use 2 hits and then back off. Particularly for things like challenge mode. Not that you would use a Hunuel in challenge mode. I say that as someone who used a Hunuel in challenge mode on Sega servers. It was not pretty. After all that, I mean, she was showing the Hunuel accuracy there. Another accuracy is better in Zero, but apparently not for my Hunuel. It will hit eventually. It feels like that one indie game you used to play with friends after schools that only ever had like 60 players max, but it was some of the best times. It's really fun, honestly. Yeah, I really like this game. I know we only play it now and again, but it's always nice to come back to. I think that was a bug. I doubt you would fail at ATA check 3 times. Maybe she was just channeling the PSO Hunuel, you know? On a long enough timeline, even Hunuel might just hit. The only thing that makes me feel better is at least it's not as bad as 4 more. Alright, we're going again. I think we missed again. I mean, to be fair, using overend on these is probably not a bright idea anywhere. But it's normal, I'm having fun. Doing it too close is a weird hitbox. Oh, okay. So you have to sort of space it a bit. It's a V just like Dark Floor, but it starts ahead of you. Oh, okay, fair enough. Unlike Hunuel, Foma has a reason, spends most of his time reading books in the dark to learn techniques. Yeah, I suppose so. Hunuel, meanwhile, is just blind. One of the other things I don't like about this is that every time you change room, you get flashbanged by the white screen. Like that. Meanwhile, near straight up spitting bars. I'm hoping on Wednesday we can get a little bit further in Phantasy Star 2. I feel like that dungeon we were in last week just took forever. The problem is I'm having to keep on like referencing the dungeon sheets to see the map, so it takes forever to get through. But you got an aura field as well. Screen transition is very glaring, yeah. You will suffer, Sky. I'm sorry. I mean, to be fair, pretty much everyone in the chat on Phantasy Star 2 has said, "Oh, you're playing this game. I'm sorry." I get the impression I'm going to really enjoy Phantasy Star 2, but hate the dungeons. Could say the screen transition is a glaring problem. I will suffer on a specifically on a icy dungeon. I can't wait for that. I will say, I mean, I know I've done like one dungeon in Phantasy Star 2 so far, but I will say that I do prefer the like 3D style of Phantasy Star 1's dungeons. Also, having the map really helped on screen. Yeah, again, I kind of wish that Sega would just remaster at least 2 and 3. Or just give them the Sega Aegis treatment, just give me a map on screen, make it a bit easier. I'll be happy with that. I like how this PA even the bullets are slow motion. Not having a map is damn near a deal breaker for me. Yeah, I had, because I've only got 2 screens, so I had obviously the game on one screen, and then OBS with Twitch chat and everything on the second screen. And then basically, I was just constantly having to use my phone to look at the maps. I think next week what I might do is I might have the map on my second monitor and just use my phone to read chat, maybe. Only got 2 screens. To be fair though, a lot of streamers do tend to use 3. Well, we got him. Yeah, Drax, so the way I've got it set up at the minute is basically one of my monitors. I've got OBS, which is obviously what you use one of the things you can use to stream with. And my OBS has built into it windows for Twitch chat and for YouTube chat as well. Trying to play old school SMT is exactly the same. Does Phantasy Star have traps that drop you down floors? Oh yes. Oh yes. I don't know about Phantasy Star 2. I assume it probably does at some point. But yeah, Phantasy Star 1 definitely had pitfall traps. They were fun. 4-mile wave. Hello to fellow 4 miles. Trap. Thank you for telling me about the trap. Pitfall traps reminds you of the cave to run in Dragon Quest 2. Yeah, so the way that worked in Phantasy Star was if you went on a specific square, you would just fall down to the next floor. There was an ability that one of the characters had that could scan for traps if you were stood in front of one, but you had to know it was there. And prior to the Sega Ages version, you wouldn't have had the map there to tell you there was a trap. So you would have to, like, I guess, find the trap randomly. Did someone save Pitfalls? Etrian Odyssey's 6th dungeon would like to chime in. Yeah, trap visions in Blue Burst are absolutely useless. They don't even show you the full screen. Like, if you're in a big room in Blue Burst, it won't even show you the full room. So what you do on Blue Burst is use the Commander Blade. And pretend to be useful with that. So we only have one switch at the minute, so there must be another one somewhere. In Zero, it shows the entire quest area or exploration zone. Yeah, I will say, like, the more I play Zero, the more it does feel like a little offshoot of PSO, which is kind of what it is. There is definitely a lot of similarities. You'd love to get Phantasy Star Zero on Steam someday. I would like to see that. It'd just be cool to get something for Phantasy Star, honestly. I think the fact that we got that merch drop from Limited Run Games, I think that's fairly promising. Even if you're not interested in the merch necessarily, I think the fact that they have done merch is a sign that maybe they're planning something. Zero on Steam with more quests and some quality of life and its own matchmaking. Chef's kiss. Actually using a double saber. I recognise that. It's like, here, have a slightly truncated compact version of PSO and then have Eternal Tower, you know, for on the go. Yeah, for when you've got like a several hour car ride or something. Not the Ethan Weber saber. Also, can we just say that there should have been a weapon in PSU called the Weber saber? How did they miss that? Also purple. Nothing wrong with that. Purple's probably my favourite colour, so yeah. I mean, this character is always purple. You got a fart gun. Please elaborate. Weber saber, a pun so paddy the Japanese won't touch it. They misspelled his name on PSO2. I can barely remember the PSU collab on PSO2, so I can't remember. I mean, if any protagonist of Phantasy Star deserves the name misspelling, then it's Ethan. He enters, mentions fart gun, doesn't elaborate, leaves. Clementine has a double Weber. That's close enough. Oh, they translated it as Weber. That could be... It could be because of how the sounds are in the Japanese language. There isn't really like an sound in Japanese. Wait, you really don't want me to get that hit material, huh? I'm guessing there's a switch somewhere. Yeah, there is. Yeah, I know that Ethan and Karen definitely turned up in the lobbies, I think. I I can't remember much else about it though now. You always thought the name was Ethan Winters. No, it was Ethan Weber. Yeah, possibly the worst protagonist in Phantasy Star. Mod Resident Evil, replace Ethan Winters with an actual Ethan Weber. Just rename it to Resident Ethan. And replace Lady Dimitrescu with a giant Lumia. Here's you inspired Karens. I hate to say it, Vector, but there's a Phantasy Star Karen before that. It was a nice touch having your character to fight him at the start of our mission of the Illuminus. You could tell he was holding back. Yeah, he's got his reasons for what he does in Illuminus. But yeah, Victor, there's a Karen in PSOBB. She's the default rare mall that shows up in the episode 4 quests. Who? That's someone who's never done the episode 4 quest then. Yeah, she's Leo's. I think she's Leo's daughter, I think. Karen Era's favorite food is carbonara in para carbonara coast. What has this chat even turned into now? Right, stay there, dude. Yeah, she's the daughter of the crazy scientist dude who looks a bit like a edgelord Rema. You started it with the Waver Saber, now pay for it. Yeah, I guess you got a point there. Name's Carbonera. Yeah, Leo's skin is like a totally unique one. This dude thinks he's Sonic, apparently. You want Leo's cape? Yeah, I think everyone wanted that in PSO. Other interesting detail in that fight is if you played Ethan's story without extra grinding, you'd be around level 63, which is his level when you fight him. Yeah, I kind of wish for PSU that the whole story was still available. It's really sad that the episode 3 is essentially lost media now. You got another Lily and another Rambling Mare. This is what happens when we don't play PSO. All the rares start dropping on PSO. You found 5 rares in an hour. And it's not rare enemy week. But no, that kind of follows the pattern of the PSO streams, really, doesn't it? Universe collection for Steam. I'd be up for it. You voted PSO, Vector. I was kind of surprised that 0-1. Also, I was kind of sad that PSU got no votes. happens upon episode 3, you really like it. Is that PSU episode 3? Yeah, PSU episode 3 basically is just not playable now. The only way you can see it is by watching a YouTube video of it. It's really sad. It was sad that the game shut down when Sega started doing the branching alternate story paths. Yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff in PSU. It's just it kind of got shut down too early, honestly, for the global side. And I get it was because people were starting to stop playing. It wasn't doing particularly well. But I mean, on the global side, it didn't even get to the level cap. You would have voted PSU, but it's bad timing as there's no events. Yeah, I suppose so. Except the quest reward. The logic was, we'd not done 0 for a while and we just did PSO during the event. Yeah, fair enough. I like mixing it up, honestly. I enjoy all the games, so I'm cool doing any of them. You'd love to have the full story from PSU to Infinity, including Episode 3 and Shadow of the Ark Guard. It would just be nice to have PSU Episode 3 playable in some capacity again. Simple Hat with the quest reward was perfect. We never played NGS. Yeah, it's kind of funny. So we did a few PSO2 streams, and I said on it, every one of them, if we get some time, we'll play NGS at the end, and then we just never had time. I will do an NGS stream at some point. I know most of you will probably leave. Oh, that's cool. Tag about that. It's been so long since I played PSU that I can't remember a lot of the later stuff in the story. I already played NGS with you, Sky, even stream. You did. You were there. It was one of the first streams, wasn't it? So I'm good. Yeah, I think it was one of the first streams I did, actually, and I played a bit of NGS. Western NGS apparently has a lot of error RP problems. I think that's the case for basically any online game, to be honest. I mean, things like Final Fantasy 14 are exactly the same. I don't think it's just Western NGS as well. I think Japanese NGS is very much the same. If Twitter is anything to go by. Because I follow PSO2 accounts on Twitter, I get recommendations on Twitter, and most of them are lewd people doing screenshots. Like, thanks, Twitter.
You piece of ARC trash!
Yeah, exactly. We can hate watch NGS. Again, I like the game. I do genuinely like the game. I want more from it, but I do like it. But I've sort of held off on streaming it because I appreciate that a lot of people don't like it. PSU dropped in 2006, was going up against WoW, Guild Wars, FF11, and of course PSO. Asking for a sub in that market was a big risk. Yeah, I mean, it says a lot with PSU that they kept PSO online for at least a couple of years while PSU was running. Should we try doing Mother Trinity? We can try it. Might be a bit rough for low level, but we'll see how it goes. Don't hit NGS, but you could not mesh with the gameplay, too floaty. Yeah, for that, it kind of depends a lot on what weapon you use, honestly. There are some weapons that feel a lot floaty than others. 3 robots versus Mother Trinity seems fair. Stream is so relaxing, has a nap. love the PSP games too. The Growl system and its characters are your favourite. Yeah, I really like the portable games. I mean, obviously I've done the full playthrough of PSP 2. I've played through Infinity before as well. Even the first PSP is a decent game. It's a bit bare bones, the first one, because it's essentially like a cut down version of PSU. But it has its own decent story, so it still holds up fine. Wish there was some mix of PSP 2 and how PSO is online. Gameplay of PSP 2 feels like the natural evolution of what PSO was doing. It'd be cool to see if there was some way to make a private server. I know there is still a way to play the PSP 2 online. I know it's a little bit awkward to do though. The only thing you don't like about the PSP games is Infinity's tutorial missions. Time constraints for S ranks are ridiculous. I liked in Infinity the Infinity missions that it introduced, where you could kind of customize the missions. That was a really cool idea. Used to play PSP 2 Infinity Online. The problem is to find people. Yeah, I'd imagine there's probably not a huge amount of people playing it online at the minute. Really, really good game though. Don't mind NGS, stopped after the second year because of life and just never went back. Yeah, I mean, I think with NGS, it is the kind of game where you can just like jump in every now and again if you want to. I do totally get that it's not for everyone. There's about as many playing PSP 2 online as Zero. Matt from Affinity has a Discord with instructions on it. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd be down to play Infinity anytime, really. I just have to get it set up. I was about to say if I could transfer my save file, but I clearly did because I did a series on the game. Yeah, I feel like Matt and Sodaboy and the team from Affinia have basically saved a lot of Phantasy Star. Super down to do a PSP 2 Infinity Mult anytime. Oh, cool. You're wondering if the Matt you see on PSO 2 all the time is the same Matt. You're just going to assume that anyone called Matt in a Phantasy Star game is that Matt. Yeah, Matt is a generic name. We like to think there is only one. Anyway, she landed it for a change instead of whiffing it completely. Yeah, it's one thing I will say is that the community for Phantasy Star has always been like really, really strong. You know, there is a big want to keep a lot of the games alive, which is clear when you see things like the private servers for PSO and so on. You know, without the community servers, the game would be, well, it'd be a lot harder to do content on, put it that way. There is a Phantasy Star community despite Sega. We have a streamer named SectionSkyly. I mean, it was close. I think, is this a rare enemy, I think? Maybe? Sorry, mistype. It is a rare enemy, okay. I thought it looked a bit different. Spite is the greatest motivator. The more Seg wants to bury the old Phantasy Star titles, the more people cry out for them. The fact is, I mean, Phantasy Star, it's a really influential franchise. And although like not every game has been a hit, you know, it has had a big impact on gaming, so it would be nice if Sega would acknowledge it more. No one gonna do the mandatory SGS joke. My favourite streamer, SectionSkyly. Yeah, I just want Sega to do something with the franchise. I mean, obviously, you know, I know we've got NGS, but it'd be nice to see them do something unrelated to NGS as well. You know, whether that is just like a portable game on the Switch or something, I'd be fine with that. Just give me something. My favourite streamer, Section. PSO BB on Switch too, maybe. See, I feel really weird about sort of remasters of PSO. I know I've said this before. It's just, it's a funny area to be in because as much as I would love a remaster of PSO, I also don't want to lose the private servers. Watch a PS Nova remaster on Switch or Switch 2. I would take that. I've never played Nova, so it'd be a wild choice to just bring Nova to the West all of a sudden, but having said that, we got PSO 2 after like, what, 8 years or so? A new single player Phantasy Star would be really cool. I don't know if they would do it. I would say as well, if they did do a new single player, I think it would need to be a separate thing to the Algol games. Just because, again, I know I haven't played 3 or 4 yet, and barely any of 2. But from what people have said, it sounds like 4 does wrap up that series quite nicely. So maybe if it was like a so-called classic game or a single player game, maybe it would be better to have it in like a new setting. Or you could do it as like an offshoot of PSO or something, potentially. Man, having said that, I guess that's what 0 is. 4 ended just fine. Yeah, I think there are some franchises where you don't want to just add another entry. If I had a really nice ending in 4, then maybe just leave it as that. Update Q&A for the Phantasy Star TTRPG, and they will also cover PSO and PSP2 Infinity. Oh, cool. Would you trust Bandai or Enix to work on a single-player title? Bandai, probably not. Well, I haven't said that. I mean, they're more like publisher than dev, aren't they, really? As for Square Enix, maybe, but I think even Square Enix have been a bit hit or miss recently. I'll see you. Hi, Cerulina. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it, Killiath? Yeah, I mean, you know, they've already got Atlas. So they probably wouldn't need, if they did want to do that, they wouldn't even need to outsource to anyone else. They've literally got Atlas right there. Let's just say I'm really happy with how active the like YouTube and the Twitch chat have been recently. The last few streams in particular have been really, really good. Like quite a lot of new people joining as well, which is good to see. Admittedly, a lot of that is probably because I'm probably the only person on Twitch still playing this game. PS Sona. Oh, nice one. Yeah, that is the downside, that Atlas are probably very busy. You think of things like Star Ocean or Tales, pretty good action RPGs. Think of Atlas as more of a turn-based RPG producer. I mean, honestly, I'd be fine with a turn-based Phantasy Star. I realise that I'm maybe in the minority for that, though. If they don't put any dating sim in the game, I will probably enjoy it. Yeah, I suppose there was Idler. I always forget Idler exists, and it's obviously not really playable now, which is a shame. I never got a chance to play that. I know it was like a single-player RPG to an extent, but didn't it have some gacha elements to it as well? Didn't the American servers last a bit longer than the Japanese? I'm not sure, honestly. Should make an Idler offline version, kind of how Capcom did with Mega Man X-Dive Offline. Yeah, I forgot that Capcom did that. I suppose that is one way to do it, but it's whether Sega would justify the cost of it, I guess. They probably wouldn't. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where regardless of what they do with the series, regardless what kind of game they make, they're never going to make everyone happy, because the games have changed so much in each iteration that you're never going to please everyone. Yeah, we'll just stand here until that truck wears off. I don't think Skyly is reading the YouTube comments at the minute, which is fair enough. I am reading the YouTube comments. It's actually been mostly YouTube the last few minutes. Furthermore, kinetic action where you can wheel and stuff. Would you hand it off to Capcom and have a more Monster Hunter-esque Phantasy Star title? Maybe. Notice me section. Hello. Yeah, so yeah, for anyone who hasn't watched before, basically I'm multi-streaming on Twitch and on YouTube, so I'm responding to comments from both sides. I would put the Twitch and YouTube chat on screen, but yeah, there's issues with doing that. You're not really meant to. There's a Hue cast here called RTX 1980 Ti. Twitch doesn't like you when you have chat logs from other streaming services. Yeah, that's the issue, basically. Do it for mother, okay. Yeah, so basically with I think it's actually more of a YouTube side thing. So with YouTube, they don't want you having Twitch stuff on display, despite the fact they allow you to multi-stream anywhere. So thanks to the follow, hey MCG. Oh, now I need to try and use a moon atomizer, which will take forever. Just realised you're watching on YouTube but not following on Twitch. Ah, no worries. Dark Falls is such a weird boss in Zero. Gotta admit, I always choose Dark Falls in solo play with the invincibility glitch. Yeah, I always forget that exists. Where if you do a photon blast just as the fight's transitioning, you can like make yourself invincible for the fight. Damn that Huni strong holding that sword with one hand while using PB. Cheers. Yeah, I do try and respond to Twitch and YouTube chat when I can. Keep missing the Shura stream as it's on just a bit too late for you here in the UK. Usually asleep when it starts. Dark Falls Blob. It just looks like a big Del biter in Zero, basically. Yeah, I normally stream about the same time, usually every week. So it's normally, for UK time, it's normally a 6:30 PM start on the Sunday, and usually 6:45 during the week, or on a Wednesday. I always thought it looked like an elephant. Yeah, it does kind of, yeah. I could see that, yeah, it's kind of got a trunk. Been waiting for another Phantasy Star game since NGS because you completely lost interest in NGS. And it's at the point where I don't think it's going to get an update that'll make it worthwhile for you. That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, if the game's not doing anything for you, then maybe just wait until the next one. Or you know, play something else instead. 6:30 normal, then 6:45 to be awkward. The reason I start later during the week is so I've got time to get ready after work. Because amazingly, I don't do YouTube full time. Need to grab something. No worries, dude. Yeah, I did try doing 6:30 during the week, but it was too much of a rush after work.
One more.
Yeah, we'll do one more in a minute. You might have this working now. Had to take a call. Oh, no worries. Make the stream 6:46 so it's more awkward. One more hydrate, fine. Well, what we'll do then is we've got about, what, 20 minutes or so left, so we'll make one more party. Oh, hi, Zil. Yeah, so we'll do one more party. We'll see who can get in. I would say if you've been in a lot of the parties, maybe try and see if anyone else can get in. But if there's, if there is still space, then we can just go with the same. So I will end this one. Okay, so I will put up one more party. Just for anyone who wants to join in future. If you've never played before, I will probably need your friend code. So my friend code is just on the right hand side of the screen. If you haven't given your friend code before, then you would need to either be friends with someone in the team, I think, or you would need to post your friend code on the Discord. There is a thread on the Discord for different friend codes. So I will just check on that now and see if anyone's put a friend code on. Ah, cool, yeah. What I will do is, just so I'm not publicising the friend code. Oh, no worries, Blanky, I can't see it, that's fine. I'll add that on now. So what I'll do is I'll just go to be right back screen just while I put that in. Sorry about that. So we will try and set up another one now. Love Sega and Phantasy Star, so often find me following streamers like these. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I absolutely love Phantasy Star. I mean, I love Sega in general for the most part, but Phantasy Star has always been my favourite franchise, well, particularly PSO. Is Aura Field supposed to sap 1 HP as well as TP? Doesn't say anywhere. Aura Field should just be TP. So I'm guessing you've probably got something else equipped that's draining HP as well. Okay, party is open. Yeah, it should just drain TP Aura Field. So there must be something else that you're using that's draining your health as well. You got nothing that drains HP though. It should definitely just be TP drain for Aura Field. Because Luminous Field is the one that drains HP, and I think some of the Virus Armors as well. What else are you used in Mist? Because I'm just wondering if there's something else. Doesn't seem to be working. Have you added my friend code blank? You've added the DNS info, but nothing's happening. Yeah, I think 0 is instance loot, yeah, so whatever drops is yours. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do for the DNS blank. What mag are you using, Mist? Rappy. Yes, there's nothing there that should be draining your HP. So I really don't know why you're losing HP. Oh, you got recommended from a friend's NGS stream. Oh, cool. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I am an NGS creator as well. I don't do a huge amount of NGS content, but yeah, I am an NGS creator as well. Just in Aura Field drains HP now. I always thought it was only TP. I'm gonna check this now. Have I been wrong for like 20 years? Oh, yeah, so it's a Psycho one. Yeah, of course. So, yeah, when... That's really funny. I didn't know that did that. So when Aura Field is draining TP, Psycho Wand is cutting the TP usage and taking it off your HP. I had no idea that worked that way. He was hosting a Squid Game like contest in Creative Space. Creative Space is really cool in Ingest. I really like it. Got to try another DNS setting. Yeah, no worries. I'm guessing, Miss, that it's probably probably like a rounding thing that's rounding the HP damage to 1. It's just one of those weird interactions, isn't it? Yeah. It makes sense now you said that. Because obviously Psycho Wand, you know, does cut TP usage, which Aura Field is using your TP. Psycho Wand, did you mean Maniac Staff? Oh, Crazy Rod. Oh. freaky poll. Yeah, so we'll just see if Boink's DNS thing works, see if they can get in. Insane stick. Yeah, so it should be through the Nintendo Wi-Fi. Well, Nintendo. If it doesn't work, we can try and figure it out. Yeah, I will stream PS0 probably every few weeks if I can. I like trying to sort of balance it between the games if I can, just so I'm varying the Phantasy Star player. Twitch chat's getting degenerate again. Well, if people want to start joining, they can. If Boink can get in, great. If not, then we can sort it out after stream or something. What do you mean again? It never stopped. Probably got time for like 1 or 2 more runs, I think. So we'll give it a couple more minutes, and if no one joins, we'll probably just call it there for the day. If nobody feels forced to let you join again, yeah, no worries. To be honest, Ale, you may as well just join in now, I think, if you want to. I think if we just start filling the slots up now, then we can just get maybe one more run in before end of the stream. Honestly, haven't played NGS. Barely played PSO2, to be honest. You were too busy playing on the PSU fan server. The PSU server's really good. I mean, there's not many options for PSU, obviously, to play it now. You've basically got Clementine and not much else. But it's good that we can still play it. You'll join? Yeah, no worries, Drac. And there's one for anyone who was on PSO well back in the day. Level 92. So, any luck with the new DNS Boink, or if not, we can just start. Nope, Vector's in. Alright, let's go. Gets online but doesn't find anyone. I'm trying what the issue might be. It's obviously working to some degree if you're managing to get it online. And you've added my friend code, I've added yours, so that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, it might be worth asking on the Discord point, because I know there's obviously a few people that have set it up now. I wonder if someone might be able to figure out what the issue is for you. Trying what we haven't done. I think we have done all the bosses. Yeah, does anyone have a preference for the boss they want to do then? We did everything. Oh, we didn't do it. Yeah, we didn't do the slow drill guide, did we? I guess we can do that to round out all the bosses then. I think it was this one. I still hate this boss. Never played PSU proper, only the 3 portable games. To be honest, I think the portable games give you a really good insight into the Graal system that's from PSU. So, and I mean, at PSP2 at least, right at the start of that, it does kind of give you a bit of a primer on what happened in PSU. Like a very, very basic overview of it, but it does kind of explain what happened in PSU. You love Param, you mean Paru, you mean Peru. You mean Palmer. It's almost like they're trying to be consistent. You love the sense of exploration in PSU. Yeah, I really liked in PSU how, you know, you do one mission, then you end up in like a new little lobby. You maybe see some more players there. Then you take a new mission from that lobby. I really liked how they did it. I mean, later on, you did just tend to warp to the lobby you wanted to go to, but when you first played, it was really cool that you could just sort of explore and find these new lobbies. Then you had some of the lobbies that were designed to sort of, you know, like chilling. You know, you had like the hot springs lobbies and things like that. And then things like the casino and the expansion as well. Yeah, again, I mentioned this in a video recently, but I do feel PSU is a game that is looked back on a bit kinder now. How are you playing this DS game online in 2025? Very neat. Yeah, there's a way to do it. You either need to use an emulator, or you can do it through DS, but you basically have to use really, really bad network encryption, which is not really advisable. So if you're going to do it, I'd probably go through emulation, honestly, because it's a lot safer. If you do want to see how to play it, if you check in the video description on YouTube, there should be a link to the Discord, and on my Discord there is a link on how to, like, in like a pinned comment on the Zero channel, how to get it set up. It is a little bit finicky to get set up though, so first PSP game is similar, but it doesn't have the lobbies. Yeah, I mean, the first PSP game to me was basically like essentially Phantasy Star Universe, but cut down, like a much more streamlined, cut down version of it. But it's, like I said, it still had its own story as well, which was really cool. Never played that one's multiplayer mode either. PSU multiplayer was pretty cool, honestly. Yeah, so basically the DS emulator has an option to let you put network settings in. As I say, you can still do it with a DS, but I wouldn't advise it personally. You can, I think someone mentioned before as well, but you can also connect your DS to a mobile as like a mobile hotspot and do it that way. Again, I would probably say that the emulator is the safest way to do it. god, is that a monkey with a gun? I love that they decided to give some of the monkeys guns. It's so random, but I love it. I think someone would try to hack a DS in 2025. It's more that you have to change your encryption for your Wi-Fi. So you need to change your Wi-Fi to WEP encryption, which is not very secure. So it's more that you're opening your Wi-Fi up. It's the meme, the monkey with the AK-47. A gun key. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's up to you if you want to use your DS to play this online, but just with what you have to do, I personally wouldn't recommend it unless you can use like a hotspot or something. Been itching to play some PSO or Universe, maybe I'll try this instead. This, honestly, it's a really fun game. If I'm going to pick one Phantasy Star to play, it'll always be PSO, first of all. Because it's what I'm most familiar with, it's what I've enjoyed the most over the years. But this is a really solid game. It's one of those games that I wish I got to play back when it released. I just had the wrong system at the time. Yeah, I will fully admit that killing you. I think my first video that I did for this, I will admit I didn't... It's not that I didn't enjoy the game as such, but I didn't enjoy the combat with the gear you start with. So the saber animation for females in this is horrible. And I really didn't enjoy it. Once you got different weapons, it is a lot better. I did also call one stick hand stick. You can't blame me for that though. The font does make W's look like H's. Sabers are god awful, they really are. No arena, oof. Hand stick is just the northern accent way of saying one stick. I mean, I'm not wrong. I mean, you know, it's a stick you hold in your hand, isn't it? It's near enough. But it's just the way the font is for Zero. But then it got pointed out to me in the comments that it was actually one stick, and that made a lot more sense. One stick still sounds like a dumb name. It really does. Hand stick is much better. Toughest thing is using the D-pad to navigate 3D space. Yeah, I think that's one of the advantages of obviously using an emulator as well. You know, having a controller does help a lot. The camera movement doesn't really bother me in this because it feels similar to PSO. So I'm used to sort of using the left bumper to reset the camera. You know, 20 years of PSO that does that to you. It does feel very weird when you first play this, though. The movement in this game in particular feels... it's very, what I can only describe as bouncy. You kind of see the animation when you run is very springy. There's also a lot of weight to a lot of the attacks as well, so a lot of the attacks feel very sort of slow, and The pace of the combat is very slow in this, but it works. Up the resolution as much as going Melon and PS0 still M's still look like N's. Shin franchise didn't do super well outside of Japan. Always loved it. Would love some remakes or remasters, or hell, just a continuation of Online or Universe. They don't get New Genesis. Yeah, that is the really common opinion, honestly, John. Yeah, a lot of people kind of fall off with NGS for different reasons. It almost feels like a turn-based RPG. I mean, it's slow enough. It's like if PSO was on the Saturn. I guess so, yeah. Yeah, the controls do feel, you know, they are a little bit janky. But I mean, the same can be said for a lot of Phantasy Star games, honestly. You know, I don't think anyone has ever played PSO and thought, wow, this feels great. You know, PSO is incredibly janky. But I still love it. Fantasy Jank Online. Art style of Zero is pretty cool. Yeah, I really like how different it is. I mean, the sort of the like cartoonish aesthetic is kind of from PSO. I mean, if you look at the character designs in PSO, they do have like an element of like a cartoonish style to them. But even compared to PSO, it still looks different and unique. Bethesda has a special kind of jank. Yeah, I really hate this boss. As much as I like Zero, I've never liked this boss. Thankfully, we have level 90 odd Force, so it probably won't last too long. And the level 90 odd Hunter, actually. Classic Sonic Team jank, love it. Kind of the same as Bethesda jank. It's probably very ambitious of me to try and hit anything with the Fortnite on this sword. Not that it matters because he's dead anyway. Yeah, miss exactly it. The Unil experience. Funny thing is, there's actually quite good accuracy in this game. I didn't realize there was a twins Photon Blast in this. So make sure you report your quest. Yeah, so we will probably end that for today. Nice pixel art. I cannot take credit for that one. But it is fantastic, though. Thanks to the Bitskill Neff. Yeah, so we will end that one there for today. So there will be another stream on Wednesday for more Phantasy Star 2. There'll be a video for members on Tuesday, which will be an NGS video, and non-members will get last week's PSO2 video. And then there'll be another stream on Sunday as well, which will probably be PSO, I think. Squidward Pixel Art was courtesy of Vector, yes. He's an artist and he didn't even know it. Yeah, I love the chat system in this. Yeah, so we'll end that left today. So if you enjoyed the stream, please consider liking, subscribing, and joining as a member on YouTube if you want to. You can follow also over on Twitch. I have a Twitter and a Blue Sky as well, which are both SectionSkyly. And you can also follow, join the Discord as well. So the Discord should be in the video description on YouTube, and it should be just under the video on Twitch as well. Why did your symbol art become KEKW? I have no idea. I guess that might have been an addition at a later date. I didn't add that. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the stream. Nice to come back to Zero for a change, we will play it probably every few weeks or so, maybe every month or so. But yeah, we'll end that one there for today, and I will see you guys on Wednesday for the Phantasy Star 2 stream. See you guys later.